Hey guys, welcome to Panthers forecast. That was a that was a crazy game. A lot of penalties. I mean, like, damn, I've that almost sort of took me out the game a little bit. Just so many penalties on both sides. With that loss. So had we won that, I think the next gen stat was that we would have a 60% chance to make it to the playoffs, and then with the loss, that drops us down to 20%, like 26% chance to win our division. We needed that win, and it's very obvious because we just need to beat the Buccaneers once, and if after that loss, now we possibly got to beat them twice, and then still remember we have to play. I believe the Seahawks, so it's Tampa. Then I think it's the Seahawks. Then wait a minute, let me make sure to see if that is our rest of the season. I think we only got like 3 games left. I thought we had 4. I could be missing one. I feel like I'm missing a team. I'm gonna check right here our schedule because I do know we played Tampa twice and the Seahawks twice. And let me see our remaining games. Yeah, those are our last 3. So that one's gonna be pretty tough. I was just watching. I was also watching Phillip Rivers' first game back against the Seahawks. The Colts versus the Seahawks, and the Seahawks were playing pretty good defense, and they still got pretty good receivers. That we got to worry about. But talking about this game with the Saints, it was just a lot of penalties on our defense. Like it was just crazy. I mean, obviously the one that killed the game for us was the ransom play, which that can't happen. I don't know why he decided to hit stick the Saints quarterback right there where even if he would have just touched them, that would have gave us at least another 15. I think the field goal ended up being like a 40. That it would have been close to like maybe a 58 or maybe even a 60-yard field goal where they were at. So Ransom can't do that. Like he can't have that type of mental lapse and make that crucial mistake. And then we had our chances. There was that fumble that Mike Jackson was able to cause, and Roseboom got really close to grabbing that, and that could have also switched the tides for us, and we could have capitalized. I thought our offense wasn't as aggressive. It was sort of bad. Like the play calling was. I think we were trying not to like lose the game, and we still ended up losing the game. Like we weren't really like just trying to be more aggressive. I thought offensively we could have been more aggressive. Another thing is that we're probably going to have to do another. And I've been saying this numerous of times, and you can check this on my time. But we're probably going to need a wide receiver overhaul because Kool Aid McKinstry was able to, I think, minimize T Mac. T Mac was open for that one big gain. But these were more like, when Bryce running around scrambling, like he wasn't just getting outright open, like, versus the Rams or pretty much any other team. I've noticed that when we play the Saints, now obviously he's a rookie and this has been his only 2 games against the Saints, but they do a good number, the Saints, of guarding T Mac. They play pretty well against them. Other games you'll see T Mac just open, open. Bryce can mostly hit him numerous of times, but when we play the Saints, he's pretty covered, pretty well. And Coker was able to get open for that touchdown. And then after that, we didn't really see him too much. Coker, I think, had like two good chunk plays, that toe tap and, obviously that touchdown. But we didn't really see him too much. Leggett was really absent. There was that one big play that Leggett had where T Mac fell down, and I think that may have, because if you see that when T Mac and Leggett were running like vertically on the same side of the field, and then T Mac, like I think he slipped, fell, and he rolled over, and the defender just saw that and he paid attention to T Mac on the ground rolling over, and then Leggett was able to get past him, and then luckily Bryce was able to see him, and we were able to get him, but we got to get that offense, especially against the Saints. I mean, the Saints got a pretty good defense, but we have to get this because I mean there's going to be other teams in there that so far I'm trying to recall the 49ers and the Rams game and the other even I would even say Green Bay Packers. I'd have to go look up those stats, but I just feel like we got to get our receivers going because it's mainly just T Mac. And another issue was I think the running game. I think we I didn't feel like we gave the ball to Rico Dowdle much in that second half. Like the fourth quarter and the third quarter, it seemed like we stayed away from. I felt like we could have used Rico Dowdle a little bit more, especially on that last drive. We could have used Rico a little bit more. And then also, I know there was that one fourth down play, which I think that was also a big one. We have to probably start experience, getting Bryce experience with doing. Bryce doesn't always have to do like a fourth quarter. I mean, when I say a fourth quarter, a like a Jalen Hurd tush push. We don't always have to do that, but I think we need to eventually try to get that done. Or at least maybe put somebody else in there to hold it. I wouldn't even mind because I think Rico Dowdle played quarterback in high school. Why not have Rico Dowdle line up behind center? Grab the ball and then just get that first down. I don't understand why we couldn't use Bryce or use hell even Leggett. Leggett even played a quarterback. I believe. I don't know if he played that in college, but I do know he played that in high school. And I think I've heard that about Rico Dowdle that he was a quarterback in like high school or maybe middle school. Why not have those two on the fourth down? You know, line up and then just do a sneak. I don't understand why we didn't. That needs to get passed on to Dave Canales about using either Leggett or Rico Dowdle in those 4-to-1 situation, because that one I think that pretty hurt us pretty bad. That we could have potentially had points on the game. We could have added like another field goal or so, but I just felt like the approach with this game against the Saints, the biggest key were all those damn turnovers. I mean, not those turnovers. The biggest key were those damn flags. Those flags killed us. I mean, even on that. I think after we scored, when the Saints had their second drive, that was damn near like 12 minutes. And there was a bunch of penalties on that. We thought we were going to get off the field and then a penalty come, a pass interference. Uh, Defense is, offsides or you know what I'm saying? It's just real bad. Even on the field goal, you got to, the defense is offsides and whatnot. And I think we were still able to stop them, luckily on that play. But, the penalties on our defense was just atrocious this game. And it did play. Well, no, let me not say that because at first I was gonna say, and now I'm looking at the Fox News. So now Tampa Bay has the fourth seed. So with our loss, we're now back in the hunt. So today we were the fourth seed in the playoffs, but with this loss to the Saints, we're now in the hunt, and we got to beat Tampa twice, and to see, well, pretty much we might have to win out. Like that's our, and I just don't know if that's possible because it's going to depend. We can beat the Saints? I mean, why would I say that? No, we just got swept by the Saints. We can beat the Buccaneers. I think we can beat the Buccaneers. Do I think that we're going to sweep the Buccaneers? It's going to be tough because the Buccaneers. I mean, you still got Mike Evans, but they also have those receivers. What is his name? I think it's Mbuke. He's from Ohio State. He's a really good receiver and a speedy guy. Chris Olave. Oh yeah, Olave got he got JC on that one third down play, which I was like, damn it, he got JC. But that's what we're gonna have to worry about against going up against the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers are gonna throw the ball more. That's a weakness on our team. Our weakness is our secondary. We definitely got to get that touched up on the draft, but we all know that speed kills our secondary. Whether it's Chris Olave, the first time we played the Saints, getting that 60 yarder, Mike Jackson, getting burnt up by George Pickens, are also getting burnt up by Jalen Waddle, and then you also take a look at Puka Nakua was getting some crazy catches. So that's going to be tough. And the Buccaneers and the Seahawks both have really great receivers that are vertical threats that are going to create a problem for our offense. And but the I guess you could say like a silver lining is that with Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold, as long as we can get a pass rush, that's the only thing that's going to save us in these next three games going up against the Bucks and the Seahawks. The pass rush is going to have to be there. We can't have all these penalties like we did against the Saints. Now, I will say this is an anomaly. This might have. I mean, obviously, this is probably our most penalized game of the season because I mean, even the game I went to against the Falcons, I didn't see that many penalties. And I've been watching most of the Panthers games this season. We never got penalized this much. So this is just a weird. This was just like bad luck. I mean, I'm not trying to be like a conspiracy theorist or be talking about like the NFL is rigged, but I mean, god damn. I guess they don't want to see the Panthers. I don't think they want to see us in the playoffs or so. They probably know that we can catch a few teams slipping. But yeah, this was just the problem with this game was I think offensive calling. I wish we could have used Rico more a bit on that last drive. I think on that fourth down, I think that was maybe like our second to last drive in the fourth quarter. We should have at least do a QB dive with Bryce Young. I mean, he's only just going to try to get 1 or 2 yards. He's not going to do anything crazy, and I just don't know the likelihood of him getting injured. I know Bryce Young is small, and they want to maybe keep him up, but we gotta at least give that a shot. Or just put Rico back there. Like you can put Rico to hold a snap and then just have him lunge forward or have Chuba. Chuba's a power back. And if you really think about it, if Bryce wasn't on the field and Chuba was, underneath the center, I feel like Chuba still would have gotten that on that fourth down. So yeah, we just probably got to touch it up a bit. These next three games are going to be really tough. They're going to be really tough. Let's go ahead and just say it. If we do lose to the Buccaneers, like let's say if we lose to the Bucks, we lose to the Seahawks, but we beat the Bucks once and we missed the playoffs. So our next three games we go 1-2 and we miss the playoffs. It's still a good year. I still think that Bryce should get an extension. He's our quarterback. We'll probably have a maybe not 17. Well, yeah, maybe like a 15 or a 12 draft pick. Like we'll be picking in the teens, which is still really good. And you see, Sonny Styles is still in that range to be drafted. But I know y'all don't want to hear all of this. We're trying to get to the playoffs. But this, I just wanted to say that this has been a good season, regardless. These next three games of what happens, we're heading through we're heading to the right track. But these next three games are going to be tough. So our defense is going to have to get pressure. I don't think this penalty game that we had with our defense having all these issues, that shouldn't happen against the Buccaneers or the Seahawks. This was like a completely uncharacteristic game. These guys need to be running some laps. So, yeah, tomorrow, Monday morning, yeah, they need to be running some laps. Vero, you make sure you make these guys run plenty of laps for all those mental laps that they had today. But yeah, we just gotta start. I think trying to do more. We need to be a little bit more aggressive with our offense. But then again, when I say that, and I think in the back of my head, we can't really be as aggressive as maybe Dave want when our receivers just aren't, getting that separation. Every now and then Coker can break free. Leggett, it just seems that I don't know. With Atlanta, they were picking on that one corner. That's why Leggett had a great game. T Mac, when we go up against the Saints, and it's just the Saints, out of all the games I've seen this year, it's just the Saints that seem to know how to slow him down or to really just take him out of there. But they also spent a top 10 pick on a corner from Alabama who is really good, Kool Aid, who is really good. So yeah, this was a tough loss against the Saints. We probably should have had a bit better judgment on our offense. Defense let us down with all the penalties. I do think it's an uncharacteristic game. And yeah, we're gonna have to win these next three games. Are gonna be tough, but it's gonna show us who we are, and we gotta win 2 out of 3. We gotta win 2 out of 3 or all three, and it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough against the Bucks because the Bucks have a great pass offense, and our secondary is it's questionable. And then also Bucky Irvin. Yeah, Bucky Irvin's going to be an issue because we also the Panthers we do have problems with containing a sort of short, spicy runner, short sort of twitchy runner again, like with James Cook, and then also like Alvin Kamara, Christian McCaffrey, Bijan Robinson. Even though we were still able to beat the Falcons, sweep the Falcons, we do have issues with these small, crafty running backs. So Bucky Irvin could also be an issue on top of Mike Evans, and I think his name is Mbuka for the. Let me check. I always say his name, and I just feel like I'm saying the Seattle guy. Let's see. Yeah, Ibuka. Okay, good, got it. Yeah, so that's gonna be a tough one for our offense, but we just got to win the next 2 out of 3, and it's possible. With Seattle, we already know. You get Sam Darnold shaking, he's going to see ghosts, and he can probably throw you a bone or two. With Baker, Baker can shake and bake, and most of the time he's going to make a good decision and get it to an open guy. But we missed a golden opportunity right here. We definitely missed a golden opportunity to have a easy chance into the playoffs. Now we got to win 2 out of 3 instead of having to win just one game against the Buccaneers, and then we would be set. So, damn. Well, and while I'm here, let me look at the Buccaneers schedule and see who they play. So they play us twice. So the Buccaneers, they play us twice. Obviously, yeah. They're going to be coming to Carolina next week, and then the very last game will be in Tampa, Florida. And I was thinking about going to see that game. I might. I'm in Philly, so everything's so expensive, so I gotta pay attention. But they play the Dolphins in Miami now. What is his name? Mike Daniels. Yeah, Mike Daniels, the coach of the Miami Dolphins. He's been coaching for his job. So they're trying to make that push to, so that way he can. Well, Mike McDaniels. Yeah, Mike McDaniels is trying to keep his job. So, if we can beat the Buccaneers next week, if we can beat the Buccaneers, there is a possibility that Miami could potentially play an upset role against the Buccaneers. And I mean, we would probably still need to beat them again. We'd probably have to beat them twice. So we'll see. Yeah. I think we would still have to beat them twice. But that's just something. Yeah, Miami could possibly beat the Buccaneers, and then I'm gonna say, let me look at their Miami. What have they been doing lately? So yeah, Miami will be playing the Steelers. So far the Miami Dolphins have been on a 4-game winning streak. So they beat the Bills, then they beat the Commanders. Now, obviously, the Commanders aren't what they are because with Jaden Daniels and whatnot. And then they beat the Saints, who we failed to beat. They smoked the Jets, which, it's the Jets. Monday night they'll be playing against the Steelers, and then they'll be playing against the Bengals, who they'll probably maybe beat or so. The Bengals are out of it. Steelers, I'm going to be watching that game. I wish Adam Thielen. Now Adam Thielen would have came in the clutch, and I didn't get to talk about that about Thielen possibly rejoining the Panthers, and I wish we would have possibly gotten Thielen when he was let go from the Vikings. I think that would have been a great addition to our team. And some of these, where we have our lethargic passing, because we have that a lot with this pass attack. Adam Thielen would have been crucial in this game, and I think he could have helped extend some of these drives that we had against the Saints. But yeah, that was it was a crazy game. It was a crazy game. I don't. I'm still sort of in dismay of what I saw with all those penalties. With all those penalties, I'm still dismayed. But we should be pretty good. We should be able to hopefully bounce back. But this is Panthers forecast. Okay, you guys take care, and I'll try to have a mock draft. I'm gonna try to study more tomorrow on how to use the OBS studios. And yeah, I should have a mock draft coming up, and then also a pregame review. I'll be flying down to Texas for Thanksgiving, Christmas. So I'll try to get these all loaded up because I'll be flying out Sunday to Tampa, then Austin. But you guys take care. Peace.